back. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Positions on Sports Talk Show. Post live streaming on Facebook Live and on our Positions on Sports Talk Show YouTube channel. We are a sports talk show made for the fans from the perspective of the fans. I got tongue-tied. I'm so excited. Presented by lifelong sports fans, we will provide our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports. This is our Power Play Fantasy Football Show. Every Thursday night at 7:30, we will discuss our fantasy league and discuss the news and picks from all around the world of fantasy football. We will give you our opinions and advice on the most popular players, trades, starters, and who should be on the bench. I am Professor J, and I'm joined by my sports casting legends and dynamos, Jay Wills and J3. How y'all doing this evening, fellas?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great.
Excellent. That's right.
Feel good, excited about the season.
Yes, sir. And we are also joined by our prolific post contributor, Sense. What's cooking, bro, cuz?
Feeling good, feeling great, ready to kick this off. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. We are extremely excited about tonight and moving forward. Yo, this is our trial run, but we don't feel any pressure right now. Our goal is to keep the energy going, keep you engaged until kickoff time, which is about 8:20. Maybe we can convince a few people to change their lineups in the next half an hour. What y'all think about that, fellas?
Hey, man, if we can only touch one.
That's right. So tonight we will give pertinent injury reports, fantasy news shorts. We got those top dogs, those sleepers, those quick hits, the quiet storm closers, and we got that special segment by my man Sense where he gonna tell you who you need to start and who you need to sit. But I'm gonna let him give you more flavor on that. So, fellas, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna rate our drafts real quick because we really didn't get to do that because we had a long show the other night and we wanted to get people on out of there. So let's get cracking. So the first thing I want to ask you, brothers, how are you feeling about your teams tonight, especially players that you got that are on the Kansas City Chiefs and on the Houston Texans team? Which I got?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't have anyone, I don't think, at least on either team. Let me double check what I'm saying. But I feel pretty good. I feel like one person I failed to mention from the last show was DeAndre Hopkins, who I feel is going to have a breakout year, especially since he signed that new contract. Mm-hmm. You know, new money makes everybody feel good.
That's right. That's right.
So I expect him to have a beast year. And don't call out or count out Todd Gurley out just yet. I think he's got more in the tank, and I think being home makes a big difference, and I feel he's going to have a great year too.
Okay, that's if he stays healthy.
That's
if he stays healthy, because that's been his problem for the last couple years. He's always hurt. He's more on the sidelines than he's actually on the field.
Right. So who y'all top 3 performers for the year you think gonna hit us off with the most fantasy points?
Well, for me, definitely it's gonna be Russell Wilson. That's my number 1 pick. So and then my number 2 would definitely be Alvin Kamara. As long as he stay healthy as well, he's definitely gonna rack up some points. And then don't sleep on my rookie. My rookie is Jonathan Taylor. Don't sleep on him.
Yeah. I could see those happening. What you got, Jay Wills?
Like I expressed to guys on Tuesday, just had a baby, haven't really did the necessary research to give the best advice right now on my personal team. So if you catch me next week after I've got rid of 150 separate different diapers that are spread across the house, I will have a little bit more insight for you. What I do have for you, I'm sure we'll get into later, is some injury news.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to shout out my man, Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to have those crazy numbers this year. I think he's going to do more of the same of what he did last year. There will be no Madden curse this year. I want y'all to know that. No Madden curse. So look for him to get those crazy numbers. I'm feeling Russell Wilson. I really am. I also think that you got to throw in there Christian McCaffrey, because I think you talk about that new money sense. That man is a game breaker. He's been that way since college. I don't think he's going to slow down one bit. Teddy Bridgewater is going to need him as that fail-safe and that go-to guy all in the same. And with that offense that they supposed to be implementing, I see him being featured a whole lot. And number 3, I got to say that man, Michael Thomas. I think he's going to continue to lead the league in receptions. I think he's going to lead with those big plays. I think you might see him and Odell Beckham Jr. and some of the young rookies. You know, those 3 wide receivers that got drafted. We're going to talk a little bit about them. You know, that name Ruggs, make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Don't sleep. Ayuk, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, for San Francisco. He might be hurt right now, but when he get back on the field, he going to do some damage. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to all that's going on. Hey, Joe, you got a shout out from Big Reg for your Vic jersey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He represent the throwback, because he's one of the original black quarterbacks that made a difference in the league.
Yes, sir.
Represent.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Professor J, I wanted to ask you a question about yours. I'm a little confused right now.
Okay.
The colors look familiar, but something's going on with it.
Yeah, I'm not getting rid of all of my merchandise, right? But what I do is I'm doing my due diligence by covering up the name, the Washington name, the former name. But, I got to give love to my man, Sean Taylor, though. That love ain't never going to go nowhere. So just let people know that, the Washington team got a revamped defense. They hungry. They're going to come for somebody this year. And namely, Mr. Carson Wentz. So we put him on notice. All right. So we're not going to hold you, because we're going to hit hard, because we know game time is coming up. So we're going to travel right in to that fantasy football update, news, shorts, and injury update. My man, Jay Wills, man, take it away.
Not a problem. Cortland Sutton, shoulder headed for MRI. Per sources, Broncos wide receiver Cortland Sutton is undergoing an MRI on the shoulder that he injured during practice today. Got that from source from Adam Schefter on Twitter. Jalen Reagor, a full participant in practice today. Eagles rookie wide receiver Jalen Reagor practiced in full on Thursday. Fantasy impact, this will be an impressive comeback should Reagor be able to go in week 1. He injured his shoulder just 3 weeks ago and was thought to be out for weeks. This will be a quick recovery for him. Deontay Johnson, foot, he did not practice today. Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson, that is. Mm-hmm. Johnson, he popped up on the injury report with a did not play on today. This doesn't look good for his chances of playing week 1, as he wasn't even able to log a limited practice session. He'll have to practice in some form on Friday if he wants to have a chance of suiting up. So, Steeler fans, you make sure you keep your eyes on that.
Yeah, what's up, Big Ed?
Big Ed, man. Former Washington player Josh. Excuse me.
Almost.
Former Washington cornerback Josh Norman missed practice for the second straight day due to a hamstring injury. We all know a little bit of something about that. He is trending in the wrong direction to suit up for week 1. If Norman is ruled out, look out for Levi Wallace to start opposite star cornerback Tre'Davious White. Devontae Parker was limited in practice Thursday. Although his hamstring is considered minor, Parker has logged limited practices each of the past 2 days. Fantasy owners would like to see a full practice Friday for assurance of his availability for week 1. Also want to tap into David Montgomery, growing injury, but he has a real shot to play week 1. According to Bears running back David Montgomery, took it easy at practice on Wednesday in order to be a step closer to feeling healthy for today. Golden Tate, lower body, but he did practice today. Tate sat out over a week of practice due to a lower body injury. He has practiced in back-to-back days, and the chances are very good that he plays Monday night against the Steelers. The 32-year-old is borderline flex play in a tough matchup and is currently 51st amongst all wideouts in the latest expert consensus ranking for weeks 1. Fantasy highlight, Mr. AJ Green said his hamstring is 100%. Green is expected to be all systems go for week 1 against the Chargers. He missed over a week of training camp due to a hamstring injury. Green declared himself 100% healthy on Thursday. The 32-year-old is currently 31st amongst all wideouts in the latest expert consensus ranking for Winks 1. Tua Tagovailoa he remains healthy despite his presence on Wednesday's injury report. We got Amari Cooper popping up. Cowboys head coach Mark McCarthy said Thursday he expects wide receiver Amari Cooper hamstring to play at full capacity in the week's team 1 matchup week with the Rams. Also, Brandon Cooks' quad will be limited if available. Cooks has been limited in practice due to a quad injury. He will be a true game time decision for Thursday contest against the Chiefs. Mike Evans, not present at Thursday's practice. Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans was not present at the portion of practice Thursday that was open to media. Evans will likely have to log a practice Friday if he hopes to play in week 1. The injury isn't particularly considered serious, and Evans think he has a good chance to play against the Saints. But only time will tell. Keep tabs on this situation as you make up your line decisions for the rest of the week. The Jacksonville Jaguars have placed running back Devine Ozigbo, his hamstring, on the injury reserve list. The Jaguars signed former Buccaneers running back Dare Ogunbowale in a subsequent move. The Jags will roll with just James Robinson, Chris Thompson, and the newly acquired Ogunbowale for week 1 against the Colts. Ozigbo will be out at least 3 weeks.
Did you say the Jacksonville
news for this week, gentlemen? Thus far.
Did you say the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Right.
Are we really reporting on them? Really?
NFL, I guess we have to.
Right. Look, the question is, did anybody draft anybody from the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Right.
I don't think so.
So I'm seeing on the chat. So that is a no on Sony Michel. Ed just talked about a little bit, but yeah, you don't want to start Sony Michel this week. So that's a no on that. So Big Red just saying Eagles have a lot of injuries, including the O-line. You know, yeah, the defense should feast this weekend. They definitely should. And this is why, should I go to it? Yeah, I'll wait. I'll hold back. I'm getting excited. I'm about to say something about that Washington defense that might hurt some feelings out there. So go ahead.
No, I was just responding to you.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to keep it flowing. We're going to hit Sense with his picks for the week. Sense, take it away.
Yes. It's your boy Sense with here to get you right with the picks of the week, who to roll with, who to be good on. And I like to call this the sensible picks. So without further ado, let's kick this off. No pun intended. So at quarterback, I got Josh Allen against the Jets with the addition of Stephon Diggs. Allen should have a big fantasy day, fantasy-wise, against the putrid Jets defense, who just recently lost Jamal Adams. So there you go. Also, I got Cam Newton against the Dolphins. You know, Newton's been to get get that chance. And who better to have that chance against than a Miami defense, who is going to be better than last year. However, it's no match against Superman. Let's just keep it real. At running back, even though you kind of clowned him, I do have Chris Thompson. Start him at the flex position. You know, he has some versatility as someone who can catch up as well as rush, and that'll give you good fantasy points. Also got Tariq Cohen at running back. With Montgomery's injury, I expect Cohen to get more snaps and more looks coming out of that backfield. And as far as wide receiver for who to start, I got A.J. Brown against the Broncos. You know, with Von Miller being out for the year, that gives Tannehill more time in that pocket, and that gives A.J. Brown an opportunity to get more looks from Tannehill. Also, I got Stephon Diggs because, you know, against the Jets defense again, I expect him to get looks from Allen and to score about 2 touchdowns. For tight end, I got Jack Doyle against Jacksonville. Do I have to go any further? And also have Kelsey against Houston. I mean, again, for obvious reasons. For who to sit, believe it or not, I got Aaron Rodgers. For some reason,
what?
Had any luck against Minnesota's defense? I don't know. The Purple People Eaters got him shook. And also at quarterback for who to sit. I got Baker Mayfield against Baltimore. I mean, with the addition of Calais Campbell, I mean, Baker Mayfield, he can feel dangerous all he wants, but he's about to catch that fade. For wide receiver of who to sit, I got ODB again against the Baltimore secondary. That's really not. Yeah, that he ain't gonna get no chance. He's gonna be whining and pouting and kicking goal posts and all that stuff.
Per his usual.
And I got Christian Kirk against Richard Sherman in that San Fran defense. I don't see him getting any looks. However, I do expect DeAndre Hopkins to have a good game because he's DeAndre Hopkins, but Christian Kirk, not so much.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's run it back real quick. Chris Thompson, do you really feel that in that flex position and under a Jay Gruden offense that Chris Thompson is going to shine behind a team that clearly look like they trying to be clever for Trevor? Do you really think that that's a good pick?
I do. I mean, to be honest, when he played for Washington, like he was always that good third down back to get you that extra 5 or 6 yards. I expect him to do the same in Jacksonville. I don't even know who the quarterback of Jacksonville is, and that's really bad.
Minshew.
Gardner Minshew. He'll be a safety blanket for Gardner. That's what Chris Thompson was for the Washington football team.
Exactly. He's like Bill.
He knows how to run behind his lead block. I can see him picking up positive yardage quite regularly. He's always someone you're looking for on third and trouble down situations. So he's definitely an individual I would think you would want to keep your eye on.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, JT.
So real quick, one of our listeners down in Georgia sent me a quick text saying that no more fluff and empty gestures. Dolphin players say they will stay inside for both anthems. Wow.
Ooh.
Nice.
Wow. Thanks. I appreciate that, Chuck.
That's how you
Right. Thank you for that. So now I got to push back real quick before we move on because you got Ed talking about right on with Odell. So you don't see Odell coming out early on, new season, supposed to be new maturity, ready to go. Baker Mayfield. You don't think he gonna be that dude in game 1?
I'm sorry. Did you just say maturity?
That's what they claiming.
I mean,
just telling you.
What has the reason been on the internet been about Odell? It hasn't been about football. It's been about some other stuff. So clearly he can't keep his head in the game to focus on getting them touchdowns and being back to the Odell that he was with the Giants before he had that little meltdown of his. So I really, even though I want them to do good, I really don't see Cleveland, let alone Odell Beckham, like succeeding.
Okay, so that's a shame because Cleveland has a lot of talent on their team on both sides of the ball. So you would think they would be a lot better than the record that they actually have.
Right.
You would think. It's mental too. So they can't get themselves together mentally to like be the person that everyone expects them to be the team that everyone expects them to be. So
right. They are playing in that black and blue division now. So
one last thing I had was bench the Rams defense against Dak and the crew. I mean, he has too many weapons, and you can't clone a Jalen Ramsey. So I think either Amari or CD or who's the other receiver? The name is Jarwin will like have a big day, and Dak's got something to prove because he's like, I want that same money that Deshaun and Patrick got. So he's going to definitely punish that Rams defense. And that's all I have for the picks for week 1. Choose sensibly.
All right. I saw in the chat. Yeah, Josh Allen is playing a very weak and depleted Jets defense. And against such teams, Josh Allen has a high rating if you look at last year's stats. He's also one to be predicted from week to week, depending on the defense that they'll be going through. So this week, Josh Allen would be a good start. Now, we're not talking about any other weeks right now. We're talking about just against the Jets defense. No Adams, no problem for Josh Allen and for that newly acquired wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. All right, good looking out since. All right, so let's go through our top dogs in rapid fire. And then again, When we get through each section, fellas, just chime in who you think another top dog that I might have missed is not in there. But of course, we got to lead things off with my man Christian McCaffrey, a staple in the PPR Daily Fantasy Sports League. He is a bona fide weapon for Teddy Bridgewater that can take the ball to the house each time he touches it. You can't go wrong with this selection. Look for McCaffrey to get high double-digit touches on the rock and the Panthers to play an uninspired Raiders defense with a raw and young secondary. Next up, Michael Thomas. Mentioned him before. It does not matter who lines up against him on the Bucs. That roster can't put enough people or throw enough people his way to shut him down. And then guess what? If you want to do that, guess who's going to get you? J3 alluded to it earlier. It's going to be Alvin Kamara. He's going to get you out of that backfield. So please understand that Michael Thomas is that man. If you have him on your team, you better be starting him this week because he's going to be fire coming from that man, Drew Brees. All right. And lastly, I got to say it, y'all. Got to say it, Rob Gronkowski, because TB12, since the last 20 years, he has the number one stat to passes to tight ends, and that trend will continue. That's why he brought Gronkowski in. So look out,
because he ain't gonna throw the ball more than 20 yards.
Hey, it don't matter because Gronk is a good start this week because he's another one that's gonna get double-digit targets. He's gonna do some damage. He's good for at least one red zone touchdown, and he's gonna make the Saints pay. But I still got the Saints pulling out a victory this weekend. But if you want that solid number one hit, it's going to be Brady to Gronkowski. Go ahead, Sense.
Okay, so not to be the stir up of drama, drama, but you don't think a tight end controversy is afoot in Tampa Bay with that big? I mean, you stack the tight end. You got OJ Howard, you got Cameron Brate, and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, who's gonna how you gonna divide all those?
Who's his man? Who's his man? Who's his man? Who did he go to recruit to bring there? Even though he had OJ Howard,
is Gronkowski back to old Gronk? I mean,
the way they've been covering him during the offseason, they claim he's that beast again. And early on in the season, remember, this is game one. The flow can go to Howard and them other boys, but I'm telling you, game one, he is going to use his number one security blanket because they have chemistry together. I'm telling you. What's up, J3? What you got?
He got that alligator on. That's what he's trying to say.
He ain't gonna throw more than 20 yards. Of course, Gronk gonna get all the flaming glory.
Hey, what's the name of the game? PPR, points per reception. You want a man that's gonna rack him up this weekend? I just gave him to you. All right, sleepers for this week.
Gronkowski is smart enough to fall back. He understands that he's a formerly retired player. I don't think he's going to be creating too many issues within the locker room to get him on the field. I think he'll do exactly what he's supposed to do. He's going to be a red zone threat. He's going to be a safety blanket on them tough downs. You probably won't see him the most. They'll use the young tight ends to run up and down the field. But when it's clutch time, when it's time to put the points on the board, when Tom Brady is in a familiar situation, he wants to look at a familiar guy. So I expect Gronkowski to do some big things.
Right. Because look at the opponent, too. They're playing the Saints. This is a big game in week one. So Brady wants to make sure he gets off on a great start. So he's going to look for his man who he's comfortable with.
Good point.
Sleeper for the week, Josh Jacobs. I'm telling you, this man at running back, he is going to do some damage because this year they want him to even receive the ball more as well. So it's not just going to be handoffs in the backfield. You're going to start seeing him getting pitches and throws out of the backfield as well. They're playing the Panthers, who are rebuilding on defense, and the young brutes on the Vegas line are going to feast this week on that defensive line for the Saints. Derek Carr has weapons all over the field, but this young gun specifically is going to blaze all over the field on Sunday. Roll Tide. Carson Wentz, and I hated to do this. I hated it. I'm telling you. But against the Washington football team, Carson Wentz usually has a field day. Trust me, look over the past 3 years that he's played against this Washington team. He has hit D-Jacks for bombs last year. I expect him to do it again this year. The tight ends, Goddard and Wentz, not Wentz,
Ertz. Zach
they
Ertz.
kill us every single time. I'm telling you, we were at the game last year, and Swearinger even laid the wood on him, right? We thought he had a concussion and was gone. Why Ertz come back and make like 18,000 receptions after that against them? It's like they cannot check the Eagles tight ends for nothing. So look for Carson Wentz to have another big game, even though I'm hoping the Washington team can pull that victory out because we got that hungry defense. And I know that one Chase Young is going to be hungry to show the world what he's got. But look out for Carson Wentz having a big game. And then I got Antonio Gibson, wide receiver and running back extraordinaire. We don't know yet how Washington is going to use him, but we do know that they are going to use him. There's a reason why they sent the stalwart, the lunch pail carrier, that dominant running back AP on his way, because there was something seen in this young core of running backs that the Washington team loves. And this is the diamond in the rough that I think is going to show on week 1. So if you got him, I'm telling you, get him on the field in some way, even if it's in a flex position, because he's got those wide receiver hands as well. And then I got to say, Tyrod Taylor was thrown up on the list. Tyrod Taylor is that man that has a lot to prove. Every time people think about it, every time people thought he was gone for dead, his first year with a team where he's really been given the reins, Tyrod has shined in those positions. So this week, look for him to do nice numbers and kind of show some quickness in those feet and those throws to kind of make some plays in those situations. All right. Y'all want to add anything to our sleepers this week?
Yeah, real quick. I want to add Washington's defense to that sleeper list. I feel with the addition of Chase Young, that line is stalwart. Like Allen, Young, Kerrigan, Payne. I mean, they're going to give that Philadelphia offensive line the blues. And like, let's not crown Carson Wentz just yet. That was then what he did. Although I am worried about Deshaun Jackson, but this is now. And as long as we can like put a hat on Carson Wentz every down, I think like Washington defense will come out victorious.
Yeah, Big Red said 4-3 will make a difference because it's that system that we really thrived in the past. And now that you got them dogs from Alabama up front and you got the addition of Mr. Young, yeah, it should make a difference. So that's a good pull for a sleeper. I can't push back on that at all.
It's amazing that you mentioned Zach Ertz because that is my starting tight end, and I'm hoping he does give me some points.
Right. Hey, if you got him, use them because that history is what I'm playing on. All right. I agree. So now we go over to the quick hits. All right. We got that Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and I know Big Ed would like this, and let me tell you why. This nasty, stingy, and hungry defense produced the most turnovers and sacks last season. Look for them to continue the same as they stifle opposing offenses. They say defense always begins slowly behind offense, but look for a couple of turnovers by the Giants early to get the Steelers jump-started. And then I got to give it to the dynamic duo down in Atlanta, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. Matt Ryan has much to prove this year, but he can't do it without his dynamic duo. Look for Atlanta to air it out against the Seahawks and the next version of the Legion of Boom led by Jamal Adams. Still, the duo will get a couple of touchdowns quick in the first half. So even if they don't pull out the victory as a team, I still got that duo doing damage against the Seahawks in that secondary back there. Which I got on that.
You must have been looking at my roster, man, because my starting cornerback is Joey Hayden, and you know he a beast back there. So trust and believe, I'm watching him all day, all night.
I got you. Any quick hits, fellas?
Yeah. I'll also say as far as wideouts that I think CeeDee Lamb is definitely going to be formidable. I mean, as a compliment to Amari Cooper, like he was highly touted coming out the draft as well as Jerry Jeudy, but I mean, to get the number 88, which is a sacred number in Dallas, like they must believe in this dude. So it'll be exciting to watch.
Okay, true enough.
And as far as defense go, I got the Bears, and they playing Detroit for the first game, so that should be a couple of points I'm gonna rack up right there also.
Okay. All right. So let's move over to the quiet storm, and y'all gonna like this one. I got my man Adrian Peterson, now the running back for the Detroit Lions. The old man still has it. With Swift limited due to injury, Johnson will get some touches, but the moment that freight train gets going, it'll be tough to get him off the field. AD is back in a division that he tormented for so many years, and he has a score to settle with every single team, namely Minnesota. An angry AD is a great and consistent AD. He may not get 100 yards, but he is still a steady play to get those chunk yards and a red zone touchdown. Then I got to give it up to James Conner. And see, Ed, I ain't even had you on my mind when I got the Pittsburgh stuff. I'm just giving honest assessments. Yes, James Conner is that steady running back. No, he might not ever be Le'Veon Bell. We're not saying that in a Pittsburgh uniform, because Le'Veon not Le'Veon in a Jets uniform. But James Conner gives you everything. He leaves it out on the football field. He is that one man on that team on offense that people going to sleep on, but he can blow up for a quick gain. He can blow up for a quick touchdown. He can blow up for a quick reception out the backfield. He is the one that I'm naming as a quiet storm participant this week. And then I already said it, Josh Allen. Namely because of his track record against defenses that are deplete. And needless to say, without Mr. Adams, the Jets have a depleted defense. They got some nasties up front. But I'm going to tell you, when he gets going, and I think the addition of Mr. Diggs is going to make the difference. He ended the year as one of the top-rated quarterbacks, and I think the first game of this season against the Jets, he will continue more of that. So look for Josh Allen to throw 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards and a big performance in the fourth quarter to pull it out. What y'all got on Quiet Storm? Y'all got some additions?
No, that was done beautifully, man.
Okay. All right, I see you, Ed. I see you. Yeah, I noticed that you picked up AP, Ed. I noticed that. I was kind of upset.
Yeah, I want to talk about AP just to add on to what you said. I definitely think that will improve Detroit somewhat. I mean, they really didn't have much of a running game, and I mean, it's better to have an Adrian Peterson on your squad than, I would take Adrian Peterson over the running backs they got now. No disrespect to Kerryon Johnson, but I feel like you said he has a point to prove, and him running angry is good, which will relieve Stafford and put some points on the board and hopefully make Detroit at least respectable in the NFC North. I mean, we still know Minnesota's coming out of that, but, at least kind of make it interesting.
Right. Yeah, see, Ed, you in my head. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Games 1 through 4. And remember, this is a week-to-week league when you play fantasy. After that, you probably never hear from Conner again as far as on our fantasy list. So you're right there with me. But to get it rolling, yeah, I got him as a quiet storm. All right, excellent. All right, fellas, so we're going to move on to our closers, and this will probably get the most debate, the most talk, and then we're going to end it with just a few nuggets of who we think will take it all. So closers, I got to go with Zeke against the Rams defense. I think by the fourth quarter, I think he's going to be doing his feed me thing. I think it's really going to get the Dallas Cowboys going. They're going to grind the clock. He's going to run the ball. He is tough in the fourth quarter when those boys got the lead. And we know that. We don't like them. Well, I don't like them. I speak for myself. But you got to give up truth where it is. This dude is a closer. Think about how many times he got the ball in the fourth quarter and we just ready to throw our remotes on the floor because Dallas is on their way to victory. So look for him to continue his closing ways. And how could I have a closer without Lamar Jackson? He is going to make the plays when it counts. Don't worry about what happened against the Titans last year. This is a new year, and people called him a choker and all that kind of stuff. This dude has been fuming all off season about the way that game went. So in week 1, look for him to close the deal. And then tonight, your boy Pat Mahomes. It's going to be a nice game. Houston going to try to put up a fight, but that offense of the Chiefs is going to prove to be the game changer, and the man generating that offense is Patrick Mahomes. He will close it out in Pat Mahomes MVP fashion. So what y'all got for me as your closers for this week?
Well, me,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, for me, I have Russell Wilson. He's another closer in my book.
You just took it out of his mouth.
I'm trying to tell you, that's my number one pick, bro. Come on now.
I mean, hey, in Russ we trust. Like once you up on that board, he'll do any and everything to put the nail in the coffin, whether it be extending the play by running around, like avoiding the sack, finding that receiver, rushing for that first down. I mean, once he is like the epitome of putting the nail in the coffin, just when you think you even have a smidgen of a chance. So that's my closer.
Right. Big Reg got Derrick Henry. Yeah, Derrick Henry was on my outside looking in for this week. I wanted to do 3, but Derrick Henry for sure. He is another one. You do not want to see him running downhill in the fourth quarter when them boys got the lead. Because if the Titans got the lead, it's over. It's over. Anybody else on your list?
Nah, man. Russell Wilson was my number one right there for sure.
Okay. Jay Will, you good?
I'm good, fellas. I'm good.
All right. Well, that's how we wanted to do the show. We wanted to give you pertinent information about the top players in the league for week 1. We want to do that every week for you. So please tune in at 7:30 on Thursdays. Look, we made good time. It's still time enough for you to pop your popcorn, get your wings, get your pizza out the oven, and then sit down for some Thursday night football. We kicking off the season the right way. What you say?
Yay.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something over there. So we thank everybody for chiming in the chat. Big Reg, Big Ed. Y'all could have jumped on with it. We ain't keep you on. Sure. We could have kept that great dynamic talk going that we always do. Special shout out to Sense and Jay Wheels for backing me up today. We really wanted to have a nice, hard-hitting quality show filled with some great opinions about who you should start this week for your fantasy football week 1. So we love you guys. God bless you. Any final posts from you guys before we sign off?
Showtime.
Showtime, yes. A lot of people said it wasn't going to happen, but it's here. Let's get it going. Let's hope it stays, and I'm ready for some football.
Yes, sir.
Will the Lakers go up 3-1 tonight? That's a good one.
Hey, that's for another show. God bless y'all. We out.